Hello there. Hey, this is Scott Marker with Treasure Valley QuickTips. I'm the owner of Network in Action, which is a franchise out of Houston, Texas that I bought and opened my first group. It's a professional once a month networking group, and I opened it actually 2 years ago today, and so it's pretty great. What these are about is I bring in local experts in their field that I try to get some of their expertise, a couple some tips from them to help out some business owners here in the Treasure Valley, Idaho, and hopefully help them out in these challenging times, and even outside of challenging times. A lot of times these things will help you, either or and coming out. So anyway, I've known Kris for a long time and consider my friend, Kris Lloyd. I met him years ago when it was just a couple of people just starting out this digital marketing company, and I watched him grow out of one office into another office, and he grew out of just that building. They had to keep growing it, and now he's in another bigger building. So it's been exciting to see somebody that's been so successful here in the Treasure Valley. So, hey, Kris, introduce yourself.
Hey, Scott, thanks for having me. You introduced myself pretty well. Kris Lloyd, digital marketing agency owner operator here at WebMarkets. Very blessed to be here and to have the success we've had over the years.
Perfect. Hey, I've got some questions that I thought might benefit some listeners today. And, one of the things is what like for business owner, because there's digital marketing agencies, a lot of them, so what's some things that you can help them out when selecting? What are some keys to selecting a good marketing agency? Because I've over the years, I've heard, I've heard some people that switched to you because they weren't happy or through their wish. So what are some keys to help out some business owners in selecting digital marketing companies?
Yeah, well, honestly, there's quite a few variables intact there, and you want to make sure you check all the boxes, at least get the majority of those checked. A big piece of it is experience, of course. Evaluating an agency, whether it be an agency with multiple employees, a solopreneur, a contractor, an internal employee, whatever it might be. A lot of our clients come to us with an extreme amount of frustration being built over the years when they, partner with, if you will, the wrong person or agency. And honestly, experience plays a huge role. We have, WebMarkets been around almost 10 years. Personally, I've been in the industry for 15. There is quite a big of a difference between someone new to the industry that might be just learning on some trends and someone that's tried and true, where they've seen things work and not work and know how to communicate and know what channels and all that and know the ins and outs of whatever piece to the marketing mix and assembling that marketing mix that you need. To be honest, honestly, our industry is pretty bad. There's about 80% of our competition, I would say, is that operate on the facts of mystery as margin, if you will. They're kind of not very transparent.
Keep your clients in the dark.
They are. And unfortunately, a lot of our competitors, unfortunate for us, but a lot of our competitors still operate on that hourly model, which, relies a lot on trust in that you're actually doing work that you say that you do. I would say about 20% of our industry are companies like WebMarkets that are solid, reliable, dependable, and they're transparent. Well, they'll straight up say, hey, this project might not be for us, right? Instead of over-promising and under-delivering. But like I said, our clients, some of our best clients, and actually, yes, our best clients have gone through the ringer, and I feel bad for them. But once they meet us on the second or third go around, they really appreciate a team that puts skin in the game, that takes extra efforts to make sure that they understand their product or service and their competitive advantages correctly. That's our niche here, is developing custom marketing strategies. And if we feel that we cannot help you, we would not take on the project.
Oh, that's great. When it comes to an area that I'm fascinated with, and I've talked to you before, is SEO, because it just fascinates me, and I watch and stuff. But so, what are some of the keys or secrets to SEO? And right before we got on here, I actually Googled digital marketing agencies in Boise. Guess who organically come up number one? WebMarkets.
Yeah, hey,
Good job.
thank you.
So what are some keys to it? I mean, because again, that seems like something someone can be mystical about, because it just, like I said, I'm fascinated by it, but it seems like it changes all the time.
It does, and I'm not sure if you can tell, but I get excited every time we talk about SEO. It's how our company was founded years back, and it's a personal passion of mine. Of course, we have 15 people here at the moment that focus on a different aspect of digital marketing, whether it be design, website design, graphic design, even some print marketing, social media, Google ads, whatever it might be. My own baby is SEO, right? And why I love SEO so much is because it's so reputable. Google has established itself as a great format for people to find the correct information. I don't know about you, but Google tends to read my mind the best when comparing to Bing or Yahoo. Yeah. They just know what I'm searching for.
It's the only one I use.
Yeah.
I don't use the other one. The fact that they try to get me to use them, I shut them off, and it frustrates me.
Oh, yeah. Well, on average, Google has a 90%-ish market share, depending on what market you're in. So they have a stronghold. The big picture is understanding your client's competitive environment. And that's a big thing, because SEO is it's not a silver bullet. B, it's not just one thing. It's, 100 plus algorithm factors in Google. And depending on your competitive matrix, if I'm say a restaurant that focuses on, say, burgers, I'm going to have a certain amount of competitors there. If I'm a real estate agent, there's a whole lot more of those, and there's local and national competitors in that matrix. So it really depends on the environment, who's ranked number one, and what that website has, whether it be what type of content it has on the website. Is the website Google compliant? Does it have new and emerging technical aspects of SEO that are proving to be very valuable when Google crawls your site? And how many links does it have pointed to it? Are they reputable links? Are they follow or no follow links, right? All those have aspects to it. Other things like your Google My Business listing, your map listing, local citations, even social media plays a role. So it all depends on how much of that SEO pie, if you will, you need to bite off in order to rank number one. So with that, we have multiple plans, whether it be, maintenance plans, whether it be aggressive attack the market plans, all depending on certain keywords. And it comes down to keyword research. What keywords are you going to be focusing on? A lot of those 80% of our competitors say, hey, we'll get you ranked tomorrow or in a month on a keyword that has no volume. And that proves that they're doing their job. Well, it doesn't, because there's no one searching that term. So our big thing is conversions. And so SEO has, on average, industry-wide, some of the highest conversions when it comes to all traffic channels. So that means more people are most likely, when they search Google and find your product on an organic listing below the ads, will see that you'll get more phone calls from that click. You're going to get more lead forms from that click. And you're probably, if you have e-commerce, you're going to sell more items. So it all depends on how you structure that marketing mix. And then it also depends on who you partner with to implement that marketing mix, right? Because strategy goes a long ways, experience goes a long ways. And our silver bullet here, work ethic, it goes a long ways too. So you got to make sure that, you partner with those that you can trust and that have their own SEO talk and the talk, if you will, to make sure they are implementing it. Because a lot of people can do it, but they won't, right? There's a will do and there's a can do attitude. And we're workers here. We're here to put skin in the game, and we really need to implement. We have strategies to implement faster, because SEO is not a light switch. I like that about Google. You're brand new. You're not at the front of the line. You have to work your way up through a variety of Google compliant tactics and really just building high quality content. But when people search for Google, they're searching for information to obtain, intent to buy, intent for more knowledge, right? And that's naturally why the conversion ratios are higher, because people are searching for a solution. And if you can be a part of that solution, you're going to attract that new client or sell that item that you provide.
You're right. You're right. And that is it. I've heard something recently that it's funny, because they said when it comes to SEO, they said make sure that whoever you work with they're really passionate about it because it changes so fast and it's just so kind of its own little world that you need someone in that world. So, and then also what you mentioned about, I recently had a problem with one of my appliances. So all I did was Google, right, that type of appliance near me, and the top three, or I skip the ads. It's just some people do, I always skip them. Go to the organic. I circled the top three and called all three, and then picked one. So so I'm right there with you. So how do you measure success for your clients?
Well, it all comes down to their strategy, their goals and objectives, right? And we typically hammer that out through a discovery call, and we make sure that we're the right fit for where they're trying to provide. We see on the SEO side, one example, we see night and day differences when our clients are ranked number one on a keyword that has good, high quality volume, even compared to clients that come to us when they're ranked off the first page, or even ranked number 5, if you will. Yeah. So getting ranked number one, having the right game plan, having enough fuel on the fire, if you will, to get you to that promised land is the first step in generating leads, which brings me to conversions. And you might hear us talk about that. We measure and track all conversions and all sources of conversions through Google Analytics, through Google Tag Manager, or whatever it might be. Conversions are calls and phone calls and form fills. That, when done correctly, just drives more business. And really, that's where our bottom line is. We call it return on ad spend. ROI is a great metric that's typically done internally based on overhead and other variable costs that a business might have. But return on ad spend to us means that for every dollar you spend with WebMarkets, you get X amount of dollars in return. And our game plan is to position our clients from a short-term and a long-term approach on 3X to 10X return is average. Yeah, we have 20X return, and those are outliers. And those are things are firing on the bullseye consistently. And in the marketing world, you need to have the ability to pivot at times. And so just having a set strategy where you cannot pivot from is not a good solution, because it's hard to hit a home run on your first swing, right? Yeah. So not saying we don't do that. However, you need to have yourself where you construct a plan that you can pivot and capitalize on opportunities when they arise. So big picture, getting our clients ranked number one from an SEO perspective, or targeting that audience that's perfect, that is their exact persona, that is their best client, buyer, customer for our clients, from a social media or Google Ads perspective, driving conversions, tracking all of those conversions, and then making sure your marketing plan is profitable. And if it's not, we need to adjust it. And if it's ultra profitable, let's talk about reinvesting some of those profits to gain more market share.
See, I love that. That's singing to the choir, because again, I'm not an expert in this stuff, but I like to follow it. And I always say a lot of digital marketing agencies are arts and craft departments.
Oh yeah,
they make things look pretty, right? But I love what you're saying, because that's really what it's about. For when I talk to owners, it's about, I don't care how pretty my site is. I don't care how pretty everything is, right? I need people calling me and converting. And so no, I love you're singing to, I think, most business owners, because like I said, when I've talked to and recently read again about a lot of agencies are I love that arts and crafts department, because they're, oh, look how pretty it is. Business owner, yeah, that's nice, but are people, is my phone ringing? Are emails coming in?
Ideally, it's the best of both worlds, because we have seen data, because we're data junkies here at Google Analytics certified, that conversion is affected by design. Yeah. Right. And especially when you start integrating multiple devices in there. But the problem is creating a marketing plan that is only based on design and not targeting correct, high quality traffic to your site. Because that's essentially your best salesperson that works 24/7, 365.
Exactly right. When you're sleeping, your salesperson's still there to help somebody if they need help. I love that. Mm-hmm. So what do you think? Again, I've known you for years and since you began. So what do you think one of the keys are for you as a business owner here in the Valley? What do you think some of the key, just for you personally, what do you think some of your keys are for why have you been so successful? I knew you when there's only a few people. Now you said like at 15, that's awesome for a digital marketing company here. I mean, what's one of the keys, one or two keys for you?
For me, it's the mindset. I mean, how I founded WebMarkets is the mindset to help people. To be honest, just to take their frustrations. There's our best clients don't fully understand the internet like we do. They understand business, their product, who their best customer is, but not how to capitalize on the internet. So just, with the mindset of helping people one-on-one and providing great service is step one. Step two, really for us to be able to provide such high quality service and output is hiring the best people that we see. I mean, we are always on the lookout for contributor employees that they're colleagues for me that are better at aspects that we are, right? And we're looking to hire the best. And really, it's definitely not a sprint; it's a marathon, right? So setting up a culture that is fun, engaging, where you don't drag yourself in and out of work is important to us. Right. But really, we have some ultra talented people here, whether they be from the strategy side to graphic design, videography, web design. I mean, these are awesome people that I'm truly blessed to work with that really make the difference. And I always think, what's the critical inch on every client? What's the tipping point that a client can go from successful to wildly successful? And we couldn't do it without all of our employees here that really put a lot of effort and are empowered to do the right thing, make the right decisions, go the extra mile when needed. Because, shortcuts in the marketing world do not work there. And hiring somebody or partnering with someone that is a short-term mindset doesn't work either. A lot of things, come down to showing up to work every day. And if you're a good team fit, if you have the will-do attitude and the can-do attitude, then it's a right fit for here at WebMarkets. And that culture ultimately, filters in and factors in heavily to our client success. And really the last thing, answering the phone, 101. When people call, you answer, you help them out. You try to provide an answer. If you don't know the answer to their question, we're going to get right back to you. Right. Answering an email, not letting this email sit for 3, 4, 5 days or weeks. Yeah. I mean, we've heard some horror stories of, you pay someone, thousands of dollars, and then all of a sudden they're hard to get a hold of. Yeah. So we've just been the opposite of that. And that comes natural, and making a good name for ourselves and, doing what we say and saying what we do. Yeah. And that's taken us a long ways.
That is awesome. Like I said, I've talked to several different vertical markets, and, I've asked them before on interviews, like, so what are your keys? And they said exactly what you said. They said that people get frustrated that they pay all this money and then not totally different market than you. These are totally different markets, legal markets and accounting markets. And they say the same thing, is that they like the fact that we call them back. I call them back. One of our team members call them back. So be responsive, especially if you're paying for it. So yeah, it's sometimes it's those simple things, right?
Just like if you get hired first day on the job, but then after a month you decide not to show up anymore, what happens?
Yeah.
You get fired.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're kind of we position ourselves. You can either hire an internal employee or you can outsource to a team with multiple experience levels and aspects to their repertoire. And if we don't show up, we get fired. That's just how it is.
Yeah. That's one thing I kind of like, I've talked to you before about, I like is the fact that, you're small, you could be a large company too, but whatever size company, right? And you're like, well, I don't really want to invest in all that because it takes time to keep, that's not our expertise. So you guys are kind of like, hey, for a smidgen of the cost of hiring our own little crew, we can hire experts, outsource it to Kris and his team at WebMarkets. So I love that philosophy because it just, you're doing what you're doing best and then partnering with people that can help you out.
Absolutely.
Hey, one other question here is what's the best fitting client for you? Is there any best or top 3 clients that are best for you?
Yeah, ideally, we're a great fit, just a natural fit, if you will. For those companies that have about 10 to 100 employees, okay, right around there, that have pains and have needs, and whether either we're just doing some factors like helping out on the SEO side, maybe link building, a niche of SEO, or we're running the whole SEO ship, or we're doing all their digital marketing as opposed to maybe just helping out in graphic design. Whatever it might be, we work well with internal employees and departments to fill those gaps that they might have.
Awesome.
And also we could just, spearhead the ship and drive the digital marketing plan and measure results and make sure we're effective there too. We're very good at healthcare and medical device marketing. We're very good at technology-driven firms on the enterprise side. We do a lot of construction marketing for the trades. We do a lot of retail marketing as well. It's all about finding that target audience and communicating to them correctly, and then building the assets that we need to convert. Right. So it's
Right.
We even dabble in the cryptocurrency space and franchise marketing space. So it really boils down to kind of nuts and bolts of marketing 101 on the digital side.
Okay. But well, the one thing I did hear you say was it's like 10 to 100 employees is kind of of course you can do other ones. It just depends, but that's where you can but overall that seems to be a good fit for you guys.
Yeah, because that's a position where they should hire internally or outsource to a team to manage their online presence.
Okay.
And so it just makes sense, when you evaluate the costs and evaluate the effectiveness, sometimes it does make sense to hire internally, and we, support that too. And we're very transparent. Hey, if we can't help you, we're not going to try to.
Right.
But whatever's best fit for the company that we're consulting for is our number one mission.
That's awesome. Hey, well, I always try to get someone like you, which you provided here. I asked you to is tell them. I always say, hey, try to give something away for free or tip away for free. But I see here that you have I'm gonna put it actually in the notes, the show notes, is that the SEO Pie. Real quick, tell us what that is, because anybody that's watching this, I'll put it in the notes and you can have it and use it. So what's that about?
Yeah, it's just aspects of SEO that really make your SEO game plan effective. And each aspect you can measure and track. And that's why I love SEO so much, because it's almost like baseball, right? It's if you have more runs, hits, and less errors in your opponent, you're going to win the ball game, right? So different aspects of SEO has different weighted algorithm factors. Link building is a big piece to SEO. Now, Google really sees that there's a bunch of third-party links pointing to your site, that your site is more valuable. Granted, there's other factors involved as well, but it's a big piece. And so that is typically some of the heaviest lifting that we do for our clients, and it's ultra effective. But, unique content and blog creation, and there's strategies for that. We're talking internal pages. We're talking resource guide pages. We're talking blogs. How you develop those blogs makes a difference if they're question, FAQ format, or just statement format, problem solution type thing. On-page SEO is an area that's really grown recently. And when I say recently, I'm thinking the last year. You add technical SEO with on-page SEO, which is more of a Google compliance standard. But what I really love about that piece, it's an art and a science, right? It's how you word things, it's your semantics, and then it's how you position them. So it's really impactful when you do it correctly. And, crawl stats, crawl errors, really any errors on your website, they negatively impact your ranking. That's a direct correlation to that. Other pieces to the pie, your Google My Business listing has really had a number of growth strategies with that over the recent months, if you will. And name, address, phone number, NAP listings are incredibly valuable, especially if you have multiple clinics, multiple locations to your business. It's very, very important there. And social media signals are something you can track as well. And those are things such as likes, comments, shares on social media, links that you put on your social media channel that really state to Google, hey, there's a bunch of unbiased recommendations on this link. Therefore, this link must be more valuable. So the trick to this is saying, hey, if we have a moderate competitive environment, we don't need the whole pie. So I don't need to overcharge my client. And also on the flip side, if we do have a competitive environment and a prospective client is evaluating between consultants or SEO agencies, they need to make sure that whatever SEO plan they have has enough link juice, if you will, or has enough aspects of that SEO pie to get to accomplish their goals, which are typically ranking number one on a search term.
Wow, well, cool. Well, hey, thank you very much, Kris. What I'll do is I'm going to put your contact information in the show notes too. So if anybody wants to reach out to you here in the Treasure Valley, and I want to thank you very much because, like I said, this is something that I'm excited because this space, I know very little about it. It just fascinates me because, like I can tell you're real passionate about it, and I love that. But it's because it's changing all. It's every time I turn around, the algorithms have changed, and so it's exciting to see someone like you that I've known you, consider you a friend for all these years, and you've grown. But a space that just seems to be, it just keeps be more and more important for businesses. I mean, SEO is huge right now for businesses, and being able to be found online and partner with someone like a good digital agency like WebMarkets, I think is more important than ever these days. So.
Absolutely. SEO, that industry is growing every year to more aspects to it. And essentially, we're in a race for content to who can pump out the most content in the most Google compliant way. The last thing, it's very hard to measure SEO plans apples to apples. And so I'd be open to any type of discovery call on evaluating SEO plans to make sure pricing's there, strategy's there, anything you need to really coordinate your goals. And
those are those complimentary?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, Kris. It's been great.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you very much.
See you again.
Yeah, you too.